Well, welcome back to Lucore Automotive Services. I'm getting ready to clean some parts. I've got some parts down. The tins and hardware and caps are already down in the tank. I'm going to put, basically I'm going to clean up my thermostat housing, my front cover, water pump. I got to find a new one, and this is an early short water pump, so those seem to be a little harder to find. Check my oil pump and see what it looks like. I'll clean up all the aluminum housings. I'm going to go ahead and knock out my galley plugs. I'm going to probably leave these freeze plugs in because they appear to have been replaced, so I'll check them with the boroscope here after I get it cleaned up. I got to pull that guy off of my front caps. The bearings in this are pretty sad. This thing was definitely run out of oil, probably while it was in use. It's pretty rough. The rear crank journal was the worst, and it is heavily scored. So, back of that block chipped. That's my fault. But it's an implement, it'll be okay. It should hold the seal alright.
What's going on, buddy?
What's happening?
How you doing?
Doing alright? It's not horrible. So we got a bunch of crud in it. This cylinder definitely had some water sitting in it for a bit. So I think we'll clean that guy up with a 3-stone. See what it looks like. That's probably going to be the worst of them all. Actually cleaned up pretty good. You can get in here with a wire brush and clean some of the scale out of there, but let's see if we can see what it's going to take to clean that up. It's going to be ugly. So roughly 0 at the high point, down at the bottom 65. So that's a huge amount of taper in the cylinder. That's crazy. So yeah, I think we're gonna have to source some 30 over pistons for this guy. Mike said he has a set of used ones, so we're gonna send the block over and see about having it machined 30 over. Using some used pistons will save me about $400. So that's the route we're gonna go. At least that'll make some headway with this. With that much taper bore, this thing would not, it would be pushing oil out the valve covers like mad from blow by. So now let's get it punched. Cleaned up pretty good. It'll look better once we're done with it, but that's the next step. We've got to take this head apart, clean it up. I'll probably mill the head surface so that we've got a good clean gasket surface. Oh, come on, get out of there. Nice. Looks like these heads have heat tabs on them, so they have been rebuilt at some point. That's good. And not overheated. So I'm going to guess we're just going to take these apart, clean them up, and probably lap the valves in, put new seals on them, new valve seals, and put it back together. At least that's the plan. Hopefully it goes that way. So I can get that guy out of there. Found a chunk of exhaust manifold in there. So, other than sitting with some water in them, it's got some knurled guides. It's definitely been reconditioned. The valves actually look pretty good. I'm going to go ahead and clean them up, and we'll see what we see after I get them clean. Pretty fresh heads, I would say. Drop that one down in the hot tank. I'll get the other one taken apart. $3212.99.0-1. That a 72? Looks like a 72. Is that a date code, guys? I don't know. I have to look up that part number. That's the gross one. $3212.99.0-1. Matching heads. I don't see the date. Oh, it's probably right there. And a 72. Well, must be a early production 1972 cylinder heads. I don't have the block here anymore. It's over at the machine shop. We actually had a set of 30 over used pistons that we're going to machine the block to, that we actually removed from the from Austin's AMX, because his is actually a 60 over fresh pistons, fresh bore. I thought it was we used the 30 overs, but the bores were too rusted and rotten, so we went 60 over on that one. But let me get cleaning. I cleaned that one right off the bat and see what it looks like. Alright, that cleaned up pretty good. Well, I'll go ahead and get this other cylinder head torn down. I think try and get those into the tank today. I gotta run across town and pick up a axle assembly, because we were trying to rebuild this axle, but the fella clearly drove it a little bit longer than he probably should have. I can't imagine he didn't hear that making some sort of racket, but it ended up spinning the bearing. He actually drove it until he thought the transmission was going bad. The truck wouldn't move under its own power because this thing was bound up so bad. It's pretty aggressive. But I gotta run across town and grab an axle from one of the salvage yards. It's an AAM 9 1/4, which is actually a really good axle. They're kind of hard to kill, but this guy managed to do it. It's an expensive result for sure. Get these guys cleaned up, and I think we're just gonna lap the valves and let it run. I think we'll be in good shape. Looking pretty good. Well, thanks for watching what we're doing with this little hot rod chipper. Click like, subscribe, leave us a comment below. We'll see you on the next one.